gonna joke like that, I'm leaving.
You're leaving? You're leaving? Well, all right. Come back.
I'm not doing this no more.
Oh, no. You quit? You
No,
quit?
I quit.
You quit?
Hey, what's going on? It's your man Casanova,
And Bell.
and we are here for another divorce not an option. First, I gotta thank everybody that has been rocking with us and
Thanks,
giving us
everyone.
the positive feedback on the podcast. Like I said, we do this because we've been married for 20 something years. I mean, together for 20
Well,
something
yeah,
years.
we will be married for
And
19 years
19
come
years
November.
and
Together for 22?
22 years.
Yeah, 22.
And I just feel like, we want to help people. We
Yeah.
became life coaches and we've done what we need to do. And we really want to just help people to, be the best in their relationship. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So with that said, I think a big issue in relationship, I think maybe the most important issue is trust.
I would agree.
I think trust is something that is so important in a relationship that without that, there won't be a relationship. I know for a fact I trust my wife with my life. Um,
Mm.
I would trust her, the type of trust if she bought a body and said, "Baby, don't say nothing. We need to
Don't you
bury
say
it."
nothing.
I would say, "Where are we gonna bury it?" Because I know that there's something that happened. I trust her to the point where, okay, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, they don't piss me off and they got God. No?
We can't be talking
Oh, we
about
can't talk
that.
about
No, we
that?
can't talk
Okay,
about it.
sorry.
Anyway, but what I'm saying is, and I think a lot of relationships now don't have trust. I think people marry people they don't trust because everything else is good, but they don't trust. And I think the divorce rate, I think the narratives that go around now, like for example, a lot of women are being told by their parents that a woman should put something aside. Now, I understand that, most women in relationships are the organizers. They're the ones that handle the money, the billing, and stuff like that. So a lot of women will, just like you have, is put money to the side for a rainy day. Not money to the side but for a rainy day. Like, oh, I'm handling the bills, so you know what? My husband, he's a spender or whatnot. So I'm gonna put some money away just so if something happens, we're good. But now women are being told to put money away for, well, when you get a divorce or if he leaves you.
Yeah, divorce fund.
And that to me, that is so deceitful and it kills the trust of the relationship. Because if you're already thinking about when we get a divorce, that you don't trust this man, and vice versa. There's some men out there that are doing devious things. I know there was the case of the billionaire. I mean, even though he should have done this, but or the new thing that's going around where men that have any type of money or anything, they're putting everything in their mother's name. So when they get a divorce and the wife is going for his assets, that pretty much he doesn't own anything because his mother owns everything, so she gets nothing. And if you as a man feel you need to do that, then why marry
Yeah,
the
you shouldn't
woman?
be getting married.
You shouldn't be getting married. And it goes to trust. Because if you are, oh, I'm going to protect myself. Like, I'm for prenups, but I'm also against them in a sense. I think they're good as if you have a whole bunch of stuff. If you got kids and, you're going to a marriage and you got kids or you have assets and all that. And let's say, okay, cool. Whatever is happening from this point on, you get half, but before, whatever, cool. But when it's a prenup where it's all these different clauses and this and that, and you get a certain amount of money, the more, yeah, to me, where's the trust at? Where is the love? Where is the idea that you're going to spend the rest of your life with this person? Because when I got married, I don't know about you, but when I got married with the idea that this is for life. You know what I'm saying? I don't anticipate leaving. I don't anticipate her leaving. I do expect us to work through our problems. I do expect us to, go through our ups and downs. But I never in my mind said, oh, when we get a divorce, or thought about that. I didn't go into it for that. So I didn't have any, I got to protect this and protect that, because I'm doing everything I can do on my end to make us work. So how do you feel about that, baby? Like, prenups and the trust factor in relationships now.
Yeah, prenups. You say prenups.
Prenups, right?
Prenups.
Prenuptials.
Oh my gosh.
Prenuptials. I'm done.
Prenuptials. You say prenuptials. Oh my goodness gracious. Prenuptials.
That's ridiculous. Are you serious? Are you serious?
But anywho.
If you're gonna joke like that, I'm leaving.
You're leaving? Leaving? Well, all right, come back. Oh no, you quit? You quit? You quit? You got like throw something down. Yeah. But anyway,
I did that for the reels.
For the reels, okay. Anywho, so trust is something that is very important in a relationship, right? I mean, trust to me, communication is a big thing, right? I mean, number one, you have to have communication. I feel like trust is up there with communication, because if I don't trust you and if you don't trust me, then the relationship is not going to go anywhere, because we don't trust each other. So, that means that I'm always, looking out for myself and myself only, because I don't trust you. So it's like, I don't trust you to take care of our children. I don't trust you to take care of me if I'm sick, right? If you're sick and you're not able to do anything for yourself, you don't trust that woman. You don't trust that man to be able to step up and do what they need to do. You don't trust them to be able to take care of the household. You don't trust them to little things. You don't trust them to maybe, say where you guys gonna plan a vacation or where you guys gonna go. You just, you just don't trust that person at all. And so if there's no trust and, to your point, there's no reason to be together
I'm sorry to cut you off, but
you did cut me off. That was kind of rude.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jesus.
I'm sorry. But let's get deep. Has there ever been a time in our relationship you didn't trust me?
Yeah, in the beginning, I would say, because when you're dating someone, right, and, I'm going to take it a step further, because a lot of people are into, astrology, signs, and so forth. I'm an Aquarius. As an Aquarius, we do tend to only focus in on us. Like, we're very much strong-headed. We don't, let anybody else take care of anything else. So so there was a point where, let's say for I will even go into a very deep story for our sons. When our son was younger, he was diagnosed with ADHD. And so as we're going through the specialists, they prescribe different medicines like Adderall and everything. And so as a mother, I really was against giving my child medicine, right? Because I'm like, he's going to grow out of it. He's just being a kid. He's going to grow out of it, So why do I have to, give him this medication? Because I want my child to be, stone-faced all day. It doesn't make any sense. And so as a mother, it really tore me apart. However, I don't have a psychology background like he. I am technical. He is, nature. He has a psychology degree. And so this is his world. But this is where the conflict came into play, where I stopped giving my child the medication because, again, I, was totally against it as a mother. So it wasn't, just my maternal instincts. There was no science, no nothing. Yeah, well, there is science out there. But anyhow, it was just my maternal instinct saying, I don't want to give my child this medicine. And so behind his back, I stopped giving it to him. And then my son started acting up, our son. And then, the school started to call again. And that's when I had to fess up and say, and that was a trust, right? Because I did not trust him enough to be like, okay, let him make the decision. Let's talk about it, but he's the person with the psychology background, right? So again, that did create a friction in our marriage because that's something, huge, right? That again, so it made that person feel like, and he's here, so he can tell us how it made him feel like, I'm sure it made him feel like, like like he's not
Crap.
worthy, like, he's
Yeah.
he's not a great father. I don't trust him to do anything. So I'm sure that tore him apart, And for me, even though I'm going based on my maternal instinct, it was wrong, you know.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to talk about that, but okay,
Well,
cool.
I
No,
mean,
no, it's
you
cool.
say
No, it's cool.
to,
No, it's cool. No,
let
no,
the
it's cool.
people know we have some
Yeah,
real
I know.
issues that we've been through.
It was rough. It was rough because there was certain things there. I think every marriage there's certain things one
Mhm.
is stronger than the other, back
Mhm.
and forth. I have
Mhm.
strengths. She has strengths and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And when something is your strength and your spouse says, "All right, baby, lead," and as a man, I lead because I don't think any man, any father wants to come to the realization where they had a child that has a problem because
Mhm.
it's a reflection for a man is reflection on me.
Mhm.
You know, I look at myself and say, what did I do wrong? Something wrong with my sperm,
Mm.
maybe my gene. You as a man, we reflect on that. And
Mm.
a lot of men don't want to come to reality. Being
Mhm.
I have a psych background, I have a degree in psychology, certificate, all that stuff. I understood, okay, you know what? Let me get out of my ego, my masculinity, ideas of what a man, all that. And you know what? Let's focus on what our son really needs.
Mhm.
So we did the DNA test. We did the
We
stuff that
did
we
the
didn't just
blood test.
we didn't just take a person's advice. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? We did what the science to prove. Okay, this is the problem. This is the chemical imbalance. We did everything that was needed, not just a counselor, but testing
Mhm.
all that stuff, right? And when we came to the conclusion, that was fine. He was on a medication, very low dose. It wasn't even high at all.
Mhm.
And at first it worked, everything was fine, he was doing great in school, and then I started to see him not do as great, and I was really confused because, see, at that point my trust for my wife was so much that I wouldn't even have thought that,
Mhm.
that she would go behind my back to do that. So I'm trying to figure out all these other things. Maybe genetically he just got immune to the stuff. Maybe the teachers are picking on him in school because they know yet. I mean, all these other things were coming into my head, and the last thing really was that. And how I found out was I found a pill stashed somewhere, and I
I didn't
thought,
stash them anywhere.
yeah, you did. You,
Okay.
you, you stashed them. It was somewhere I forgot specifically, but I found the pill
Oh, okay.
not in the not in the thing,
Not
like
in
in
the
the drawers.
case.
It was something,
Mm.
just. And I was wondering, why is the pill here?
Mhm.
And because it's shit, there's no reason why, So I'm
Mhm.
thinking maybe my son is not taking the
Mm.
pills,
Mhm.
and when I talked to him about it, I don't know if you told him don't tell your dad or whatever.
Mhm.
He didn't want to say nothing, and I was like, what's going on? And then when I talked to her, she told me, and it really hurt me because on one hand, I understood as a mother, she didn't want to come to that reality.
Mhm.
Also, my wife, she is Haitian culturally,
Mhm.
that isn't something that they're jumping on.
Mhm.
This like find God, better behavior, things like that,
Mhm.
that they will culturally, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Um, so I knew it wasn't I don't trust my husband, but even understanding that, it still hurt, because at the end of the day, it was something I felt as a man that I was on top of,
Mhm.
and she went behind my back to do it, and that really hurt me.
Yeah.
And like I said, it took me a while to understand. My grandmother said something to me there, so she said, "Understand is a beautiful thing," and we're all human, we're flawed, we make
Mhm.
mistakes, and at that time, she was just trying to protect her son, you know. Um, and it was wild. We got into a lot of arguments for
Yeah.
years over that because the wound stays there. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I think we've had a lot of different incidences of trust that has been challenged. And what I mean by
So what is your story of trust with me? Because I
well,
mean,
well,
I told.
I know that. Okay, let's get deep. When if anybody follows me on Black Men's Mental Health or read my books, they know that about 5 years ago I had a nervous breakdown.
Mhm.
I went
Mhm.
into a facility for two
Mhm.
days when I found out I wasn't crazy, because people in there, they had problems. But I was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and sleep deprivation. And now at that time, I didn't know. Now reflecting, I understand now. But before, I was dealing with a lot. My father died, my best friend died. I quit my job and money wasn't right. Relationships with people were going down. It was just a lot that was happening to me, and I just totally flipped out. We had a big argument. It was ugly. Then I voluntarily put myself into one of the facilities, and I had to be there for 2 days. At that point, when I got out, I knew I had a lot of healing to do with people, and my wife looked at me and she said, "Baby, I'm done." At that point, see, the thing was, it killed my trust as far as the foundation of our relationship, because I said to myself, I thought no matter what we go through, we will be together. We will work it out. But see, over time, I started to realize that trust is not received unless trust is given. And the way I was acting, whether my intentions were there or not, I understood that if a person's not feeling that they could trust you, then they have to protect themselves. And I think in relationships, we don't understand that. We want total trust from somebody, but we don't check ourselves.
Yeah.
See, for me, I was hurt. I was lonely. I was feeling like she abandoned me. I was feeling like, I can't trust her, you know what I'm saying, in this relationship, because as soon as I'm not who she wants me to be, she's pushing me out. Not understanding that my mental health and how I was acting for months, maybe a year before, was breaking down her trust for me. And then the final straw was the breakdown. But see, for me, I just looked at it. It was just that breakdown. Just because I'm weak now, you don't want to be there for me. But I was doing so much in our relationship that I was breaking down the trust. And I didn't even know I was. Because see, like I said before, we want all of this from somebody, but we don't know how to give it sometimes. I want you to trust me. I want to trust you to the point where I know no matter what I do, we good. But see, when you say that, it's a little bit insulting to the other person. Because if I expect her to always be there and keep our relationship solid, she's there for me, even when I'm on some bullshit, then I'm wrong. Because trust isn't something that is given blindly. It is something that is earned through time and maintained. And if you can't maintain the trust by your behavior towards another person, then you can't expect this undying loyalty or trust for yourself. And that's what I learned. Now, the stuff with the medicine, I think that was all you. But when I had my breakdown, I had my breakdown.
I took that.
But when I had my breakdown, that was me, because I caused that by my actions. And I think what we do in relationships is that we do things repeatedly.
Yeah. Right.
But then when the person's fed up and done, we look at them and say, "Oh,
yeah.
Oh, see,
what happened?
See what happened? I thought you was my ride or die.
Right.
I thought you was holding me down." But, now I'm not simping right now, guys, all right? I'm not saying as a man, I'm going to do so much, so I got to do. No, not at all. No simping here, all right? At the end of the day, I just take accountability for what I did. Now, there's some things that she did as well that we talked about, but, it doesn't matter. I'm talking about what I did to cause that reaction as a man. You can't always expect somebody to trust you when you're not doing things for that person to trust. We want to just have this unblinded loyalty. And no matter what I do, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be loyal. Yeah. You're going to be trustworthy. No, we have to earn that, maintain it, and actually cultivate it as well. Because if she, in the beginning of our relationship, she ain't know me, I ain't know her. We rocked, we cool, but we never got into those situations where it's like, yo, I gotta trust him. You know what I'm saying? Or I gotta trust her. It's life that gives that trust. Trust shouldn't be blind.
Right. Yeah. I
So,
mean, yeah, I mean, trust is not something that should be taken lightly. Trust is not something that you should expect to get right off the bat, because you got to work towards that. It's a work in progress. It's a constant work in progress,
yes.
because again, we are humans, right? We are
Hmm.
humans, and we are going to make mistake, and so we are gonna break that trust. And so I think what's important, and why we share stories, with, is just because letting you know that, we're not perfect. We've been in this journey for a very long time. And so, but we want you to know we're still here, and there
Hmm.
is healing, whether it's going through counseling. I mean, we've, done, counseling and everything to try to help us, doing the work internally, and kind of, taking a deeper look into yourselves, into, yourself individually, and then your relationship as a whole. A lot of communication, a lot of talking with each other, just to make sure that you understand that person, point of view, you understand their perspective, and kind of, get where, they're coming from, and like I say, it wasn't right, that I, stopped giving our son the pill. It wasn't right at all, but my reason, and even my reasons, but at least, I can explain why, this is why. It doesn't make it right
Yeah.
whatsoever,
Hmm.
but at least I can explain, well, this is what I was thinking. This is why I did that. It's not
Hmm.
going to change the fact that the action is already done, but it can at least explain, and then we can kind of, continue that communication, and continue that, balance when things are not going well. So we can kind of, pause for a moment and say, okay, let's look back, let's talk about it, and I think, trust is something that you're always going to have to continue to build, continue to work on. It's not something that, oh, I trust you forever and ever, and you're never going to
Hmm.
break it, and,
Yeah.
and we're just going to live happily ever after. It's not life. That's fairy tale, right?
Yeah. And one trust is something too that you talked about how we went to the
Hmm.
counseling session.
Yes.
There was a breakthrough I think we had one time. We were
Hmm.
sitting there with him, with the
Yeah,
gentleman,
shout out to David Taylor.
yeah, shout out to him. He did has helped our relationship a lot. We go to
Hmm.
him when things get really bad
Yes.
and stuff, and we go to him and he helps us
He's a
out. And
resident counselor.
exactly, then we don't see him for a year or two, then we go
Then
back.
we go
What I'm
back.
saying?
Hey, you got to do
You know
that.
what I'm
You
saying?
got to do
So we're, we're
checkups.
we're always open to that. So we never shied away. That's one thing I
Yep.
can say. But one of the breakthroughs we had was,
Hmm.
and this is communication is very important for trust too as
Yes.
well. So we were sitting there and she was complaining about I didn't know how to love her. Right? Oh, he doesn't know how to love me.
Hmm.
He doesn't love me the right way. He does blah blah. Blah. This whole discussion, and I'm looking. I'm like, I'm thinking like blah blah blah. And he looked at her and he said, "Let me ask you a question. Have you ever told him how you need to be loved?" And it's rare moments that my wife is speechless.
Really?
And she was literally
The
speechless.
insults.
It was like
Rare moment.
rare moment of her not coming back in a defense or just like she couldn't say nothing. It was
Hmm.
like oh,
Hmm.
I never did.
Yeah, you
You know,
they got me.
and
They
and
got me that time.
and, and that was a moment for both of us. And let me
Hmm.
tell you why. Because I don't think I asked her how she wants to be loved, and she never told me how she wants to be loved. So at the end, guys usually we just love the way. So I wasn't complaining; she was the one complaining. So that's why he said that to her. But
Wait,
in
how did
general,
you? I
I
like
mean,
how you
yeah,
just. Oh, she was
yeah,
complaining.
she was complaining.
Mm.
But it when moments like that happen, you have to reflect on it.
Mhm.
And it was to me that was a breakthrough because it made me to say, in my mind, for her,
Mhm.
her, she was thinking her thing, but for me, I was thinking like, okay, well, but have I really asked how she wants to be loved? I'm focusing on everything I'm doing to show her I love her, telling her this is what I'm doing to show you I love.
Mhm.
This is I'm
Mhm.
doing this, I'm doing that. So in my head, I'm good because I'm showing her love.
Mm.
But did I ever ask her or inquire about how do you want to be loved, baby?
Yeah.
Because even though he was directing towards her, it still made me reflect on how am I loving my wife? You know what I'm saying? Then I ask those questions as well. And I think that was a big breakthrough for us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? For her to understand, like, I have to tell him what I want and be honest what I want, not just automatically think that, because I think we don't want to talk about things. We want to connect with, when you say somebody's your soulmate and you have a connection, you think, well, this person should know me and they should
Yeah,
know
yeah, right. Yes,
everything,
yes.
you know,
Without telling
because
them.
we're soulmates.
Right.
He loves me, I love her, we know
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
But that is such a myth.
Mm-hmm.
Because the truth is, you still need to understand each other.
Yep.
You still need to sit down and talk about what you want,
Mm-hmm.
expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Because trusting that a person is going to know
Mm-hmm.
is not trust. You know what it is? It's ego.
Mm-hmm.
It's ego and it's ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You could be on the same page about everything,
Mm-hmm.
but you still need to ask those questions.
Yep.
Because sometimes, and most times, we do things for the other person,
Mm-hmm.
and if the person thinks it's cool,
Mm-hmm.
they keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm slap you on your butt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Which
and
you do.
I know, but you have bad hemorrhoids, right? But I'm slapping you all the time and it's hurting, but you're not saying nothing because you're like, you know what? I don't want to disappoint him, but it's really, really hurting you every time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to tell,
Yeah,
like,
you gotta speak
maybe
up.
my hemorrhoids can't handle that slap.
Oh boy, the hemorrhoids.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you
Thank
have
God I
hemorrhoids.
ain't got that problem.
I know. I'm just saying. I just use an example. You know what I'm saying? So, I go extreme so people can
You do
understand
go
it.
extreme.
But a person may feel like I can't tell him
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, he may feel like, oh, my boss, so I'll just deal with it.
But is that really the person's soulmate, right?
Well,
I mean, because to me, you should be able, and again, it's just where we're going with the
I don't know if I don't know if you have hemorrhoids though. So, are you trying to tell me something?
Oh, see, you want me to punch you in your throat in the camera
Did you
in
just
front of
threaten
all
me on
these
camera?
people?
I'm
I ain't
leaving
threaten
now.
you.
I'm leaving.
I ain't threaten you.
It's on camera.
No,
It's
it
on
is
camera.
not. It is
We use
not.
if
It is not.
if I wind up
Oh
missing,
my gosh, here we go.
it's on
Oh,
camera.
really?
I'm not editing it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Anywho. So no, I only say that because, yes, that person can be your soulmate. Yes, they are your soulmate, but sometimes we're so timid, right? We're so scared to actually say what we really want, what we're really feeling. And and that's where, we want to make sure that as soulmates, you're going deeper into your relationship. It's not so surface, right? It's not what, everybody sees. It's much more deeper than that. Like, you're having those talks. You're having, this is what I want. Hey, when you hit me in my booty, it reactivate my hemorrhoid. So stop doing it. Hit me on my leg or something. Hit me on my,
Maybe we'll
my
get a
back.
hemorrhoid
I don't
sponsorship
know.
because of this.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. Okay.
Hey,
Oh, but
try this hemorrhoid cream. It's good.
it's good. Don't forget the side effects.
Hey. You know what? Cheap plug. Anyway, go ahead.
But anyway, so I mean, and so I think it's very important to have communication. That way you can build trust.
Yeah.
Because it's good to be able to kind of have, these deep conversations, right? And again, I don't think people are having those deep discussions. And it's crazy because, I mean, just in my friend circle, I'll ask, hey, you and, your significant other, have you guys, so talk about this? Or, oh, no, we don't talk about that. Well, what do you mean I'll talk about that? Why not? What's the problem? I don't understand. And even something as intimacy, right? Even go into
Because
deeper.
that dress is, you wearing that dress.
Oh, thank you.
I've been looking
Or-
at- Anyway,
you-
go ahead,
but
go ahead,
anyways,
yeah.
so I mean, it's like, okay, well, what positions do you like? Or maybe there's some things that you can't do, right? Physically or whatever it is, or you don't want to, it's open communication, right? It's just kind of going in and talking and trusting that, the other person will, abide by whatever you guys decide.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to, who are you loving?
Mm-hmm.
Because see, we tend to want to put our best foot forward for who
Right.
we're with,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not understanding that you want a person to love you for who you are.
Yes.
And it comes with trust. I want to look at this woman and love her for her great things, things that her
Mhm.
shortcomings, things that she may not do well,
Mhm.
whatever. I want her to love me for who I
Mhm.
am. And I think that's a trust factor that
Mhm.
happens when you're honest with the person about who
Yeah,
you
gotta be
are.
honest.
Because I think we want to put on, I think we in life,
Mhm.
we are so used to playing the game,
Mhm.
being, you have to put on a face for
Yeah,
work,
you gotta put on a
face
face
for
for
your friends,
everything.
face for your
Mhm.
family. You have to put on a face for
Mhm.
everybody, and that's not your real you.
Yeah.
You're putting on the emotional side for your
Mhm.
family. You're putting on the business side for your
For
job. You're putting
jobs.
on the
Yep.
fun side for your friends. So, and then in relationship, we tend to put on certain sides, like maybe the sexy or the cool or
Mhm.
whatever. And we have to understand that, particularly in relationships and relationships you want that to last, you have to make sure that you are your authentic self.
Mhm.
The good, the bad, the
The
ugly.
ugly.
You know what I'm saying? Because you want that person to love you.
Mhm.
See, we have too many people out here that are trusting what you're presenting
Mhm.
and loving what you're presenting,
Yeah, I
but then
mean,
they don't
it's
love
yeah,
you.
yeah. It's they're they're loving the persona,
Hmm.
and it's a fake. It's a fake persona, and so but once they start to get to know the real you, then that's when you start having the shift, right?
Hmm.
And so, but the reason again is because you were never your authentic self, so that person never actually knew who you were, and
Hmm.
vice versa.
Yeah, and it's really, and I get it. When you first date somebody, you want to put your best foot
Yeah, of
forward. You want to
course. You
be
want to
everything.
give
I
little
get
white
it.
lies,
Yeah, I get it.
you know?
But I think there gets to a point where you have to, if you're considering this person as your soulmate,
Mhm.
as your person you're gonna spend the rest of your life with, you have to get to a point where you start to be who you are with
Mhm.
them, because you want them to love you. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? I could honestly say that through everything we've been through, my wife loves me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? She see me on the top of the world. She see me on the bottom of the world. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And she has loved me when I was strong, out there balling. She loved me when I wasn't making no money and broke.
Mhm.
She has loved me the same. It's been consistent love. It
Mhm.
hasn't been, I'm not saying it because we're doing the thing. I'm just being honest. It's been consistent love. No
Mhm.
matter where I was, she loved me the same way.
Mhm.
It wasn't like, oh, nigga, you ain't working, you ain't making money.
You better go
You
get a
better go get a job,
job. You
nigga. You know what
better
I'm
go
saying?
do
Like, you know what I'm
this.
saying?
No.
Like there was a point where I wasn't working and my wife was still, and she didn't even downgrade our life. It was like we were still going on trips. We were still living our life. You know what
Balling
I'm
on a
saying?
budget.
But as a man, of course, I felt like, nah, you know what I'm saying? I got to get out there. But, she never downgraded our life. She never downgraded me. You know what I'm saying? Vice versa. When she was going through stuff, you know what I mean? Some other stuff that I think in later podcasts we'll talk about.
Mhm.
I loved her the same and said, baby, we're going to get through this. Let's get
Mhm.
through that. I got your back, things like that. So I think at the end of the day, it is very important that you keep this, you are who you are,
Yeah.
because when that person loves who you are, they're going to love you during your good and your bad, and
Mhm.
that is so important
Very,
for a relationship,
very
because that
important.
trust right there, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not afraid to come home and something happened bad to me
Mhm.
and say, baby, this is what it is,
Yep.
because I know my wife is gonna say, all right, cool, no problem, baby, we got
Mhm.
this, we're
Mhm.
gonna get through this together.
Yep.
And that's a real relationship. Say she could come say the same, baby, I messed up. And it's
Mhm.
happened, baby, I messed up.
Why do you put that emphasis?
It's
It
happened to me,
happened.
but it's happened. She's come home and, baby, I messed up. We'll talk about that down the road. But baby, I messed up, and I said, all right, what we gotta do to get
Mhm.
out of this? What we gotta do to get through this? And we
Mhm.
work together. So at the end of the day, that's where the trust builds,
Yep.
because shoot, I fucked up.
Yeah, you
Let's be
just
you
no
fucked
matter
up.
what,
But I
that
trust that
person
this
has
person
your
has my
back.
back. But of course, that person gonna let me know, like, you fucked up.
Yeah, you fucked
You know what
up.
I'm saying? You fucked up.
Mhm.
But we're gonna get this we're
We're
gonna
gonna
get through
work
this.
this out.
We're gonna work this out.
We're gonna get through
And
this.
that's what trust in a relationship is.
Mhm.
And too many people don't have it, and it's
Mhm.
sad. And I really pray that people work on that. If anything else you work on in a relationship, work on the trust.
Yes.
Look over to that man or that woman and say, I trust you,
Yes.
because you are my everything,
Mm-hmm.
and we're in this together.
Yes.
Because life is a journey.
It is.
It's just who you want to go to the journey
Yeah,
with.
it's actually exactly who you want to go to a journey with, exactly. And so, just open up. Again, you have to be your authentic self. I think it is very, very important. That you're not scared, right? So many people are afraid.
Mm,
How many guys are afraid to tell their wife that they lost money, or
mm,
or they lost their job or something
yeah.
crazy,
Mm.
because they don't believe that their wife will trust them, will trust that they still have them, like I
Or
still got us,
don't worry,
you
I got
know?
us, baby. You know what I'm saying? They
Exactly.
don't trust it because they're scared,
They're scared, yeah.
So, and a lot of times it's man's ego, particularly with men, is our
Mm-hmm.
ego. And it's not, and sometimes it's not that we may not trust.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that our ego
Right,
won't
your
allow
ego
us
is
to do
getting
it.
in the way.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But we have to get to a point as men, if you pick this woman to be with
Mm-hmm.
it, then you have to
You,
put your
you have
ego
to
to the
put that
side
ego to the
and
side.
talk, because it's your life together.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I always say, this is our journey
Yep.
together. What you do affects me. We were talking about the other day, we
Mm-hmm.
got bills we're paying, we're doing this. And my wife is like, yo, I got it. I'm a handler. She's
Mm-hmm.
like really independent and like boom, boom, boom. And I
Mm-hmm.
said, baby,
I am.
I get it, but understand we're in this together.
Yes.
So what you do affects me, what I do
Mm-hmm.
affects you. So, I trust you. I know what you're doing is cool,
Mm-hmm.
but never get to a point, baby, where you feel like we are not working
Yeah, we're not
together.
working together
You know what I'm
because
saying?
want to make
And I have
sure.
to do that sometimes because my wife is like, go, 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 independent woman, do her thing. And I'm the one that, baby, I get it.
Like reel it
I
back,
gotta reel
reel
it
it
back.
back.
And you know what? That goes to what we said earlier. Trust,
Yes.
right? You have strengths and
Strength
weaknesses.
and
And
weaknesses.
you have to trust that this person's strength is there. Like my strength is the one to say, baby, I see where you go, reel it back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because my husband is the emotional side. He has all the emotion. Like he said, I'm Caribbean. We don't have that emotion. Um,
You stereotype of Caribbean people.
oh, look, they'll co-sign.
Oh yeah, no, and it's true. You know what I'm saying? So I'm the one that has to. I look at the details of our emotional side. You know what I'm saying? My wife is the business overall visionary. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Where are we going in our marriage, our financial situation, our investments? Where are we
Mm-hmm.
gonna retire? My wife is that type of person. Is the kids okay? She's like the visionary. I'm the details.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm the little details. Like, okay, baby, you want retirement, but how we gonna get there? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, well, we gonna do no, baby, we gotta do this and do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cause she'll run a mile
Well,
away, she'll run
yes,
a
he's
million
he's
miles.
very grounded, right? In a
You know what I'm
relationship,
saying?
you have to have that. You have to have someone that's
That's
very
grounded.
grounded.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
hey, slow down. Let's figure this
Exactly.
thing
Let's figure this out.
out.
Let's do the
Let's
plan.
do the plan,
You
the
know what I'm saying?
roadmap.
Exactly.
Because
And
I'm just go 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 go
yeah,
go.
but see, strengths and weaknesses,
Yeah.
and that's what it's about. That's where trust comes in. That's where you build up. When you have those strengths and
Yep.
weaknesses, you trust each other
Trust each
on
other
that,
that you
and you work
got
together
each
well.
other.
But yeah, but you know what? We are half an hour in, so let's end this up. But
Okay.
I love this conversation. This is great.
Hmm.
I think trust is something that people want to talk about in relationships. I'm really glad we were able to talk about it. But yeah, but hey, we appreciate y'all for
Thank you.
rocking with us. Hey, go to our Divorce Not an Option page, and you can check out this
The
podcast and
video,
all of that.
previous
Or
ones.
YouTube, you can check the video
Hmm.
at youtube.com/at divorce not an option. Also, go to culture.skin, pick up the products. I'm telling you, all 100% natural. Every time we do a booth, we sell out of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But you can get it online. We're not going to be like other businesses where you order it, then 4, 5, 8, 10 weeks later.
No,
No,
we're shipping
we're
right away.
shipping
We're
right
shipping right
away.
away.
So don't worry about it.
Yep.
All natural moisturizer for men and women. We have 3 different scents for men, 3 different scents for women. Also, we got our infused cream. Nobody else is doing this. We're infusing clay into cream.
Wait, yep.
So we have one for like pigmentation,
Hmm.
sensitive skin. We have
Dry
dry
skin.
skin.
Yeah,
Just
I
check
wear
out.
it every single night.
That's why she's so
Just
beautiful
to
and
make
radiant.
sure I wear it
You know
every
what I'm
single
saying?
night.
And,
So
and you're smelling good all of your body. It is all natural. We put too much chemicals on our skin all the time.
Yep.
So even the lotions have chemicals in it. So at the end of the day, get some moisturizer. We have nothing but natural shea butter, mango butter, oils. It's 100% natural. So pick it up if you really care for your skin and you really care. Then pick it up. All right,
and you got
guys.
something for the guys, right?
Oh yes, the book Men Are Meant to Be Broken. This
Mm-hmm.
book took me like 3-4 years to write, and it's not a big book, but I just wanted to condense information and really convey as a man what we need to do to really take back, being men in our society. Our women need us. Our society needs us
Mm-hmm.
as men, especially black men. We're crying too much about what's going on. Yes, things are unfair. Things are happening. I agree. I'm with you on it. But we got to know how to play the game, guys, and we got to come back and we got to be men for our community, because regardless, all that stuff's going to happen to us regardless. But what we going to do to flip it and have a positive outcome for our community? So Men Are Meant to Be Broken. Like I said, I've been on cruises in New York, Miami, writing this book, because I wanted to do something like this. It was a goal, and it's
Yeah.
out.
I'm super
So
proud
yeah,
of you, babe.
thank you.
Super,
The
super
link,
proud.
the link is in the bio. You
Mm-hmm.
can check out the link, and you can go to my page,
Casanova Williams.
casanovawilliams.com,
See your
and cop the
previous
book.
books
You know what I'm saying? All
there.
my previous
Mm-hmm.
book, Black Men's Mental Health Bible. You know what I'm saying?
Podcast.
Podcast, everything podcast. If you want to know how to get into this podcast game,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? So yeah, thank you, baby, for being a supporter. Because to be honest, when I was down, all these things like the line and all that came to fruition.
Fruition.
And she
Okay,
supported me.
strength and weaknesses.
Yeah, exactly. And she supported me so much. So thank you so much, baby, for
Yes.
supporting me. And
Super proud of you.
yeah, so yeah, appreciate it. But guys, we appreciate it. And
Thank you
until
so
next time.
much. Good night.